On my neck, doesn't come in. I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning. Super speed Sonic, I'm running. Super speed Sonic, I'm running.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Franchise, now The Franchise, formerly known as VM Sports. We got a full house here today. We got Gabe back, George back, and Aren here for the first time.
It's good to be here for the first time. Thank you.
Welcome. So we got we got a lot to talk about today. Pretty much in all three of the sports. I'm still not going with baseball just yet because they don't start until April 1st. I think I said that last time. But with the Bruins, Celtics, Patriots, those three sports, we got a lot to talk about. So starting off with the Bruins, the normal order we go here. Okay. They lose to the Devils and the Islanders back-to-back, their last two games. They've scored one goal in those two games, and they can't figure out how to beat these teams for some reason. These two teams. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, well,
what are they against Islanders this season?
I don't think they beat them. I think they're 0-3-1 or something like that. It's something like that. Like, and it was this game.
No wins against Islanders in 4 games, and Islanders are like bottom of the division right now. Close to the bottom.
They're not a horrible team, but like they're not on the Bruins level.
Yeah.
Like, and the Devils. It's like, I've explained it multiple times. They're like, I don't know, the Thunder, the Pistons of the NHL.
Got it.
They're garbage. So it's
you got it.
I know.
You're like, I know.
I've said it before. They're
I
like,
didn't even know it was hockey season.
I thought they were done.
they're like if there's an epitome of a rebuilding team in the NHL, it's the New Jersey Devils, and they just pretty much they just can't figure it out. I don't know what it is, and they lost 1-0. They didn't score a goal. It was like the goalie's first start of the year. They're like, oh, you know what, like. We can't figure it out. We're gonna just throw this guy in there and see what happens. And they shut him out.
So who is like the Bruins in NBA form? What team would you compare them to
This year?
It's tough to go cross sports.
I don't know.
Are they doing well?
Yeah. No, they're one of the better teams.
I would say they maximized their roster, especially in the season, right? Because I mean, they were the President's Trophy winner last year before the shutdown happened.
Yeah.
And if you look at their roster on paper, would you say
that's best team in the league, best record?
Would you say they're top 10 team? They're definitely top 10.
Oh yeah.
Are they
Are they closer to 5 or closer to 10?
Tampa Bay or the Washington Capitals?
No, they're not Tampa. Tampa's like the Lakers. Tampa's the Lakers. They're also the defending champions. So yeah, they're nasty.
They're unbelievable.
Life is good in Tampa Bay, huh?
Oh
yeah. Super Bowl champions.
I didn't even think of the Bucks.
Stanley Cup. The Rays went to the World Series. They lost, but they went. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tampa Bay with no fans.
They don't have fans.
They have no fans. They're about to play actually, to get in a little bit of baseball, the Rays are about to play like half their games in Montreal, or that's like a subject every year because no fans go to their games, even before Corona. They're about to go up to Montreal and play. So, anyways,
they might fill the stands a little bit more now.
Yeah, maybe. So, with the Bruins, I don't know. I guess this year they'd say the Bucks. I guess I don't know the way it's going.
I saw
equivalent
an article pop up on my Twitter feed today that Sweeney called out the team.
Yeah,
and you don't see that happen.
They should. Did you see DeBrusque? All that stuff with DeBrusque?
No, I didn't.
Cassidy called him out. He has 1 goal this year. One goal.
I mean,
he was like the 14th overall pick. When they had all those picks. They need to trade for someone. I've said it multiple times. They need to make a move.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the perfection line that's carrying them.
Yeah, you still have that top line.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I mean, I know we talked about it before the show started. We wanted to dive into Jack Eichel a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
what do you think? You mentioned that to me.
I think we have diverging opinions on this one.
Oh, you mentioned it to me, so go ahead.
I would. So to get you guys up to date on this, Jack Eichel is he's now 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
So he's still really young, especially in the NHL. You still have
he's on the Bruins?
Good 10 years. He's not on the Bruins.
He's on the Buffalo Sabres.
He's a Boston native though. He's from Chelmsford.
Okay.
Yeah. He went to BC.
Yep, and he went to BC.
Word.
Anyways, he's an incredible talent, but he plays on he was on the Buffalo Sabres. They're a really bad team, and they've been consistently a bad team.
Hard.
And hard. And the question is what would you be? what would you have to give up for him? Because you're not getting him for nothing. He's a franchise player. He's a cornerstone player. He's coming off an injury. What was it, hip? I don't know what it was.
It's
I
like
have no idea
some
what his
mystery injury. They can't figure it out. Then the trade rumors started up. It's like one of those deals.
And he's for NHL standards where it's a hard cap, where it's not flexible. You can't go into luxury tax and things like that. He makes big money. We're talking big money.
It's like
He's
10 mil.
5 years, 10 million a year, something like that. So along those lines.
That's a lot in the NHL for sure.
But so he's big money, but he's also a big time talent, and he's been on a franchise where you could say, okay, maybe he's not thriving there and this and that. If he comes to the Bruins and he comes to this organization and he's got a nice roster behind him, does he become something else? Does he take it to that next level? Does he become that, whether you want to say like the Connor McDavid or whatever?
Yeah. Do you know Connor McDavid? You've heard of him, right? Like no. He's like the face of the NHL right now. Like
the face of the NHL.
Oh yeah. He's the next
I thought
guy.
That was Chara.
No,
I'm just
no. McDavid's like the next guy, and Eichel was the second pick. McDavid was the first pick in their draft. But Chara's on Washington now. Like he went to the Capitals.
He's not on the Bruins.
No, they let him walk this offseason.
Emotional day for everyone.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
During the offseason. They let him and Krug leave. Krug's gone too.
See, I don't even know who he
Torrey
is. So
Krug.
I'm good there. Don't worry about it.
No.
As far as George knows, the Bruins got better.
Yeah. I guess.
But yeah, so I mean, it comes down to like, well, so let me ask you this: what would you have to give up either Pasternak? I mean, maybe Marchand.
I'm not giving up anyone on the perfection line.
Okay, so you're not giving up
chance.
anyone on that line, and then the only other player that they're going to want is who?
McAvoy.
Exactly.
So that'll be close.
You'd consider McAvoy?
A little bit. Just
I'm not sending McAvoy out unless I'm getting Connor McDavid back in some type of deal.
that's fair. That's fair. The thing is, the way Eichel, like the player that he is, the age, the way like the league goes, is obviously you've mentioned his cap hit and whatnot.
Right.
He's like the equivalent of like Deshaun Watson getting traded, pretty much. I'd say maybe a little bit less.
Okay.
But in the NHL, like that's like the ripple effect it would have on the league.
Right. That's how significant it would be.
Right. So for him to come to the Bruins and like be on the second line, he's like, that's like your next guy because everyone's old. That's the thing.
I mean, you might even
except for
you might even
Pasternak.
change up the lines at that point.
You could. You have that flexibility if that guy's on your team. But like, what's the plan? Like you're going for the present and the future if you get a guy like that,
Right.
because Bergeron's 35 now, Marchand's early 30s, Pasternak's still young, and McAvoy's still young. But like you said, Krejci's out the door. He's old and his contract's up. He's probably going to retire. Yeah.
The other question is,
he'd have to be in that deal. By the way, 100%.
And the other question is like, outside of your perfection line, who can you deal during the trade deadline that has some value?
Right.
And I don't think you have much there.
Right.
You got some young guys. You got some prospects on D. They look okay.
Yeah, I think they've overperformed.
And I don't want to say like Charlie McAvoy is, I mean, the end all be all of players, but to have that cornerstone defensive player,
right?
I mean, because if you get rid of him, where do you start? It's like losing a QB in the NFL almost.
Oh, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you get rid of a QB for a stud wide receiver, where are you going with that?
True.
So unless you had another stud line one defender, you had two of those guys, and then now you're talking, okay, maybe I can get rid of Charlie, move this guy up, he gets the 30 minutes a night. You got to have that guy, especially come playoffs.
Right.
So I'm for Eichel, but based on what I would think they would have to give up, that's where it becomes a little bit iffy for me.
Right. I don't know. I'd give up like 3 or 4 firsts for him. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
100% in the book for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
If it means saving my players, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're Buffalo, would you do that?
Oh no, it's probably not gonna happen. It's one of these like, rumors just thrown out there. He's on a bad team, like whatever. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. They need to make a move though, because it's like
it's time to change things.
It's like this. It's like the finals, the Stanley Cup Finals against the Blues. Who do they have besides the top guys? Right after them, as soon as they come off the ice, they're done because DeBrusk got benched. Like I was saying, he has 1 goal this year. He's supposed to be your second line left wing, scoring 20-something goals.
Yeah,
and he's trash.
Yeah,
so it's like
the drop off is huge.
Yeah, and I don't know where that Andre Kasha is. Like in that trade they got for Backus. He's gone. He hasn't even been around. Where are these guys?
I know.
And these rookies are these names.
They're wherever Krug and Chara are.
Yeah. these Yeah, no, like these
win.
these young guys and these rookies on defense, like there's a wall. There's a wall that's going to be hit, and it might be happening right now. I've said it before. Like they're not living up to their potential. They're surpassing their potential.
Right.
So how long can they do that for? Can they stay healthy? You just lost Carlo because Tom Wilson's a douche and took his head off almost. So it's like that guy's out for however long.
7 games he got.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Carlo though. Like how long's he out now? He has a history. So
I don't know. He got
he has a concussion.
Yeah, he came out of the hospital. That's all.
Yeah,
I
he went to the
didn't look into what his
hospital. Like I
injury
went to the
was.
hospital. Like
Yeah.
how long is this guy going to
This
be
was a
out
dirty
for?
hit that happened last
Yeah.
week.
He just like his Carlo was his like head was down, like looking at the puck or something, and the guy just it was like a dirty game. Like they were trying to fight. Like
Shit.
all like the last 2 games they played back to back. That's a problem with the schedule too. Like
That was the last game I watched actually.
yeah,
And
he just took his like head right off. Like
and
it was
Bergeron
bad.
was pretty
Headhunting.
vocal about it too.
Oh yeah,
Which is- he's a really quiet guy.
did you see what
Even
happened?
for your captain? He's usually really quiet.
you see what happened to the Islanders game?
Yeah.
Someone else got like taken out like into the boards. No one got hurt. One of our guys, I forget what it was, one of the young defensemen, and Marchand was like right there, and he just immediately threw his gloves off and started punching the guy. It was great.
Yo,
It
that's
was
the
great
one
to
thing
see.
I love
Yeah.
about hockey.
Oh, it was great to see.
Anytime I've watched, there's been a fight.
Right.
So that's the only
I
thing
think
I
the
like
first
about
time
hockey.
he used to come over and I'd have Bruins on in the background. The first time he saw them drop gloves and fight, he's like, they do that in the sport?
I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Dude,
Is no one stopping this?
I went to that game where the years
Let's
back where
go.
they had like 3 fights in like 60 seconds or like it was ridiculous.
I
That's
miss
when
those
fighting
days.
was like really big.
Yeah.
But that's the thing not having Chara around. Now you're gonna get pushed around because you don't have like a 6'9", 7-foot monster on the ice. No matter how old he gets, like you have that presence, you know. Like no one's screwing with Chara.
Face of the league.
So it's like
face of the
for a little bit there he might have been, but yeah, I don't know. They need to make a move for sure. I think this whole stretch, injuries, hitting a wall. I think they have hit. Like if this doesn't scream make a trade, I don't know what does. And I really hope they make one. Not like last year. Like go get a guy. It doesn't have to be Jack Eichel. Go get a sniper on the wing. Not Rick Nash. That was horrible, but I don't know. It's someone. They got to get someone because this is a tough division. Speaking of, hold on, wait. Okay. I play fantasy hockey with some of my friends. Like every year you just do a random league. And they have like divisions this year in the NHL where because of COVID, where the teams aren't traveling all over the place. Like they still are in the NBA. There's
Right.
like you play like a rotation of like 6 teams. The Bruins are only seeing like 6 teams pretty much.
Yeah.
5 or 6 teams,
And they've bunched
all
up
regular
the Canadian
season.
teams in
Oh,
one.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. They play like
Wow.
the Capitals, the
I
Islanders,
didn't know
Rangers.
that.
Like it's only a handful of teams, and then once the playoffs come, they'll figure it out.
wow.
You know who ended up in a division this year? And it's like screwing with my goalie in fantasy hockey. The Chicago Blackhawks and Tampa Bay. Please tell me how Chicago and Tampa Bay end up in the same regional division. This is supposed to be regional.
Right.
How the hell does that happen? We're closer to both of them than they are to each other.
That makes
Who's
no
your
sense.
goalie?
It's a rookie for Chicago, Kevin Lankinen. Like he just came on the scene, but every time they play Tampa Bay, obviously they get lit up. So it's like, please tell me how Tampa Bay and Chicago are anywhere near each other. Sorry, it's just like a rant. It pisses me off, bro. Like I can't handle it anymore.
Big Patrick Kane on the Chicago note. I
Yeah.
don't mind going for him.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of overachieving this year, so I don't know if he'd
Yeah.
be available. He's making a lot of money too,
Yeah.
and he's still really good. So
He's still really good.
I love
That's
him.
why-
He's my favorite player.
Oh, he's-
Not on the Bruins. He's my favorite player.
the last decade, I'd say he's up there.
Yeah.
With one of my favorite players.
All right, figure it out, Bruins. You need to make a move, Sweeney. Please don't just sit on your hands. Like I can't handle that. Another guy that sits on his hands as we transition, Danny Ainge.
Boston GMs. I hope
Moving
you're
on
listening.
to the NBA. Okay, we're at they're back tonight. They're back. They're coming back soon. There's a handful of
Oh,
games
the NBA
tonight.
is right.
There's a
Celtics are
handful of
tomorrow,
games.
I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. That should be a good one.
We got a few games, so I kind of want to talk about the Celtics and like the NBA as a whole, just a little bit. What are your surprises so far? Like surprise teams, disappointing teams. Like,
Hey.
what do you think? I know you saw it before.
I was just looking at the standings, just like freshening up a little bit, and I see the Phoenix Suns number 2 seed. I said, "What the hell is going on here?" I've never seen the Suns that high since Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, Chris Paul effect.
That's insane.
It was
That's
Chris Paul
insane.
fact.
Yeah.
Shout out Chris Paul. That's insane.
They have a good team though. If
They
you break
do.
it down, they
But
have a
but
great
but
team.
what's really changed?
No,
That's
nothing.
crazy.
Outside of CP3.
That's
Outside of
insane.
Chris Paul,
And your
Right.
development, right? Like all those
Right.
guys, like Aiton's 1 year older, 1 year closer to his prime. Booker, I'd say, is in his prime now.
But they kind of showed what they could do in the bubble last year.
For sure.
Yeah.
They didn't lose
That's
the
when they
game,
made
right?
some noise.
They didn't lose the game. They still didn't make it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But
was a
still,
great run
that
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 they
was a
had.
Yeah.
statement.
And
like,
they needed something like that, right?
They
needed,
carried that
a perfect
momentum.
storm to get
That
it.
was Booker's step into stardom, pretty much. Not superstar, but he's a star. He's a star.
This
I'd
is
say.
here to prove like, okay,
You
Yeah.
I can be
Yeah.
a star here.
you know,
Oh yeah.
think
for
about
sure.
think about it. They make the playoffs. It looks like they're probably gonna make the playoffs. They have a pretty good record. Number 2 seed in the West. That's no joke. If they make the playoffs and he makes some noise, yeah, that's his real step into
Yeah.
stardom now. Like,
Exactly.
where if he starts winning some games for them, and with CP3, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in winning situations. Like,
'Cause he's a winner.
yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
This like I was shocked that he took that team second seed in the West. I mean, who knows where they're finished, but
Right.
the fact that at this point in the season, this late, that they're that high in the standings in the West, that's really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I mean,
That's my 2 cents.
I mean-
I don't know.
but the problem was for them over the years was Booker was like everything. He was the scorer. He was the facilitator. The best point guard he had up until this year was like Ricky Rubio the year before. That's you're not going anywhere with that. Like that's like Ricky Rubio's
is
not
Rubio
bad.
now?
He's
Right.
back in
What's he
Minnesota.
up to?
Back in Minnesota.
Really?
Where it all started. Where they
Wow.
drafted him
Good
and
for him.
Johnny Flynn
So
over
is he,
Steph.
Is he behind Russell now?
He's like either starting or they play next to each other or he's
haven't
off the
seen
bat. I mean,
him
they're
in
the
the
worst
game
team in the
God knows
league.
how
So as predicted, they literally have the worst record in the NBA. So that's they're worse than the
I think
Pistons.
the biggest thing is CP3's got something to prove. He's never been to
Yeah.
the finals.
Right.
All this
Wow.
time. He's
Yeah.
never been to an NBA finals.
It shows you that like he deserves to be on a really good team.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's always been the
But he-
regular season guy for
But
sure.
it's crazy though too because he's choosing where he's going. Like, you know, he went to the Suns. He chose to go to the Suns as a free agent.
Well, he got traded,
No, he got traded.
but I think he wanted.
Oh.
I think he did want to go.
Well-
I think he could have said no.
Not
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he actually.
so
it's
so
tough.
so from what I had,
He was
I have no
definitely
idea
what
not
his
saying-
contract
he definitely
stipulations
wasn't saying OKC.
No,
Like,
no.
They were dishing
Yeah.
him off somewhere.
right, but I think he had a say in where he wanted to go.
He was pushing for Miami, remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Miami
That
wanted
mean-
to get him,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Which would have been a really.
which would have been
Yeah.
great.
But I'm sure he's happy right now. Wouldn't you? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, because think about it,
Bam,
like
Jimmy and him. And
for
in the
somebody-
East versus the
All
West.
winners.
Yeah.
on one team.
like you said too, for somebody who has something to prove, to go to a team that was like in desperate need of something, and then to have this kind of result, like
Yeah.
that's way better than going to a team that had success before you came there. Because now that really shows like the kind of impact that he has. We always knew, but this I think really proved it.
Right. He's a vet. He's the vet leader on and off the court. Like all those guys are young. It's like him and Jay Crowder. Other than that, everyone's like 25 and younger, I'd say
Right.
24. Aiton,
Forgot they got
Booker,
Crowder, too.
Cam Johnson. Yeah.
I mean,
Bridges.
if you like, based on it's unfortunate because, like we just said, he's never been to an NBA Finals, but his track record is really good.
He's one of the best
He
point
even
guards
did
ever.
it. He was. It was. They were up in Game 6 when he was in Houston,
Yeah, and he got hurt.
and he got hurt. They were up in Game 6, and they looked like they were about to close out the series.
yeah.
And they were about to go to an NBA Finals. And then you saw what happened when they switched it up on the roster for Westbrook.
Right.
Which I've never been a fan of, especially Westbrook and Harden together. That sounded like a mess right off the bat. But everywhere he's gone, he's pushed his team forward. He's
Right.
made his team better.
Yeah, OKC was supposed to
He
be
just hasn't gotten over that hump.
the worst team in the league the
Yeah.
year before, and he led them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Deep in the not deep in the playoffs, deep like high up on the seeding too.
Yeah.
He was like they were the 5th seed, I think. Like with who? Him and
Everywhere
Shea
he's gone.
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Literally everywhere he's gone.
They pushed Houston to Game 7.
Yeah. Yep.
Houston.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's impressive with the Suns. What do you think? You seen anything? Anything you're disappointed with? We already know we're all three of us are disappointed with,
Yeah,
but
it's all
I'm
disappointing.
shocked too.
They're hard to watch. They are hard to watch.
they're so frustrating, man.
And the most frustrating thing is that you have these two guys. They're both studs. You have Brown and Tatum. And at the time, and even so, I'm okay with the Kemba signing, but that type of money to an undersized guard is very questionable. I understand, like, the free agent market's tough. A lot of people historically don't want to come to Boston, and I get all that. But year after year, for the last 3 years, while these two guys are growing, our roster has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to watch guys like Semi Ojeleye and Tristan Thompson getting 30 minutes a night, starting minutes, I mean, it's absurd.
As soon as they leave the court,
How is it that we can't attract something better than that here with those two young players? It's hard for me to believe that we can't attract something better than that.
I think it's a combination of it's a players' league. So like word gets around. So like whatever happened here with like Kyrie and everything, I'm sure other people and other players know that. So they're probably like, I don't want to go there. Like what's going on? Yeah.
And it's wherever these guys want to group up.
Yeah.
Overnight, you become the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
Sure.
They saw what happened with Isaiah Thomas, and it's like, again, I've said it before, the Celtics, that was a lose-lose situation. So, but what are you going to do? Like, people are going to be upset about trading him. He gave your heart. Like, but people see that, and they're
But
like,
look how
okay.
that panned out, though.
I know.
He's not even in the league.
I know.
Right.
I know. No, it was the smart move.
Yeah.
No, it was a lose-lose. I've said it before. If they trade him like they did, they get scrutinized for it.
Yeah.
They sign him for whatever he wanted. They look like idiots because of what it is now.
Yeah,
so
you're
they're
right.
getting attacked either way. They did the right thing.
And where is the loyalty on either side? They talk about players are like, oh, look what they did to Isaiah Thomas. But the players are not staying in one place anymore either.
Right.
So on both sides, it's a business. You're trying to make your team as good as you can and as strong as you can.
Yeah.
And if you're
Right.
Danny Ainge and you have a chance of getting Kyrie Irving for a pick in Isaiah Thomas, you're not doing that?
Yeah. I think it's that, and it's like it's obviously location. Everyone wants to go to like Miami or LA or even New York. They'd rather go there than here. I don't really know why, besides like,
in a while though.
no, I know. It's also that, and like everyone's leaving. It's like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge is not afraid to trade you either. Even if it's your second year, like you could be gone if someone's willing to take you. Look what happened with Kemba. You tried trading him with those reports that came out. No one wanted him.
Damaged good rumors.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, like,
That's
would
not
you?
a good look.
Right.
bad
No,
look.
I know.
that's why,
I know.
That's why no one wants to come.
Yeah,
I know,
that's not a
yeah.
good
There's no
look.
security.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not playing good. See you later.
Right. So and like
You
that
gotta
makes
just bank on these two young guys to get you there.
yeah. And now it looks like
Hopefully you don't leave.
But I mean, we
Yeah.
also haven't had the players where there should be security.
yeah.
Have we had those? Like, okay, so if I wake up tomorrow morning and we've traded Jason Tatum, sure, I agree with you 100%, right? That statement holds true. But outside of him, or I would even say Jaylen Brown at this point because of how good he's playing, we haven't had that guy where he's like, he's an Anthony Davis or Giannis or whatever, and like, you're like, okay, there's no way you would ever trade him. Like, we've had middling pack players who have overachieved, and Brad Stevens has done a great job, and it's like, you're trying to get over that hump. You got to make a move. Like, you got to sell these guys while their stock is really high.
Right.
So it's a tough situation.
So what do you think we're losing, though? Why do you think we're losing? Because of the players
Why
on the
do I
court?
think we're losing this year? The roster.
The depth.
After Tatum and Brown, and then Kemba when he's feeling well and healthy and whatever, what do you have? I mean, you have Tice, who's like great.
get me started.
I'm a big fan of Tice, but he's not a guy who's supposed to be playing 30 minutes a night.
He should be on the bench.
He's a guy who's supposed to come in and make impactful minutes when you need it. Like, we don't have a stud center. We don't have a stud big man in any sense of the word.
Right. They're also missing Smart, who's back tomorrow, which is
Right.
that's
which has
big.
been big.
But I know, like, I mean, but we've seen what
Think about it,
happened.
like long term, we're not gonna go deep into the playoffs.
Oh no,
Right.
we're not. But it's
Not with
gonna
this
look.
roster.
It's
You're just
gonna,
not doing
What's
it.
the point
You're
then?
not doing it with this roster.
So what solves the issue then? What gets you guys over the hump?
You got to
they gotta
You gotta either get
capitalize.
a blockbuster guy, or you got to nail it drafting in the next.
So
couple years.
so if you had a hypothetical trade situation,
I've said it. I can scream it to the heavens. I want Andre Drummond. I know
You want Drummond?
there's this. I want him, bro. I know there's like this. Oh, he doesn't like.
no,
Whatever team he's on, whatever
I think
team he's
Drummond-
on, like I know, but it's like
honestly,
whatever.
I think
What do you
he'd be
have to
great.
lose?
I think it'd be a great.
He'd be a
addition.
great fit. He would definitely push us to maybe like number one or number two. But like, are we gonna beat anyone? Like,
Well, that's where
I
you
don't
get.
know.
Just
I think he's an outdated
This is
type of
just.
player.
But this is what I think of it.
guys like that. He's like Greg Monroe, but a little bit
Listen,
taller.
come on.
There's not what I
Gets
think
grabs
is.
a couple more boards maybe.
I don't think there'll be anybody that comes from outside to like take
save
you.
us.
Yeah, there's no one coming here. All you guys have to hope for is that you get enough pieces, like you said, on the roster. Like that starts with someone like Drummond, a few other role players, and then you just pray, Tatum, Brown, do something. Someone go over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like take the
you
leap.
gotta think about it, they're still really
They're really young.
Yeah.
24.
But one
Yeah.
of them could
Yeah.
take that leap. It just
Yeah.
But you
now
gotta,
it's
you
like
gotta give the roster something.
Tatum
Exactly.
just turned.
And I don't think so.
right?
look what
He
one
just turned
move
22.
like not to go back on the Suns, but look what one move did for that team.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
Even in
one
the
guy.
West.
That's a really good point guard.
Yes.
Kemba, where are you?
But
Yeah.
then the next question is, the Suns look awesome this year, but do you think they can go all the way?
No,
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Well, not with the teams now.
Not with the teams in the West.
So then you can have that same argument with them where you're like, okay, so then what's the point?
It's a
You get
lot
what I'm saying,
different there,
kinda?
though.
in the East,
They're closer to.
in the
to
East,
getting
the
their
Suns would
jobs.
beat
Right.
any team I think
Right.
in the East
And
besides
it would take like an injury.
Brooklyn.
Exactly.
They could at
Like
least.
that's the last thing you want.
could
knock
at
on
least
wood,
beat
but
any
team,
if
yeah.
something like that were to happen,
They're closer.
because I don't think they still have a chance against like the Lakers, for example. The Clippers,
Now-
maybe
now
it could be
that
interesting.
he's
I don't
gone.
know.
Well, fully healthy though, like in the
But
playoffs.
that's what he's saying. But now
Yeah.
that injuries, they're
So
so
come
close.
playoffs,
They're so
if you had an
close,
injury on
they
the
do it.
Lakers, AD's
Yeah.
not well, he's not 100%. Can the Suns get over that hump?
I
Maybe.
I could see
Maybe
it.
they could get to
I
that,
can't.
maybe.
I just can't
Winner,
compare.
man.
Yeah, he is a regular
They can
season
make it
guy. Yeah,
interesting.
he is. I just
They could
can't.
make it
I
interesting.
can't compare the Suns and the Celtics situation to like each other because the Suns are like up until this year like perennial like cellar dweller
I
like
100%
what
agree.
bad team like like whatever happens with the season as long as they make the playoffs their fans their organization they're hyped like it's like awesome like,
Right.
look at what we can do Celtics it's like we have this expectation already as a franchise it's history
Been there.
Boston for the Suns
When's the
is-
last time that's happened? We've won. We've been
No, I know,
competitive-
I know.
We've been competitive for maybe 2.
I
3
know but
years
that's
in
just the
last
mentality
25.
here
But that's the problem. That's where
just the
like people
mentality.
are getting impatient. Like how many years ago were they against LeBron in the conference finals?
2012 was
That
the
was-
last
almost
solid year
10
that we
years
had.
ago almost
No, I mean with the young guys too.
Oh, you're talking about these
Yeah.
guys.
that was
what, 3 years
20
ago?
We've made the conference
2 years
finals
ago?
3 out of the last 4 years.
That was
right?
2018.
Isaiah
It was 3 years. It was 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The year that Kyrie was out and all that.
Yeah.
We did it that year.
Tatum
They
dunked
went
on
to
LeBron.
Game
We've
7.
been 3 out of the
Game
last 4
7.
years. We've been to
Yeah.
the
Game
Eastern
7 against the
Conference
Cavs.
Finals, right? It's 3
Yeah.
times we've been there.
But then again,
I
the
think.
East is weak.
The 2 or
Now,
3?
East is it's not that weak anymore.
In the last 4 years, we've been there 3 times.
That's
Got
true.
2 MVP
It looks
candidates.
different.
We did it once
East
with
looks a
IT.
lot different.
Yeah, we got swept.
But
We got
still,
swept, but we got there.
it still
Was that, like-
contributes to like that
I think
fan
you're right,
base
yeah. And
we've
is
done
getting
it.
impatient now.
Milwaukee
It's like,
once against
all
Milwaukee
right, when are
once.
we gonna?
And then
Yeah.
against,
Go
and
to
then
the
against the
finals,
Cavs once.
right?
3 out of the last 4.
The Heat.
Oh, we just like completed that.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you guys are good.
No, we were just talking about we've been to the the Celtics have been to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think 3 out of the last 4 years, or it's 3 out of the last 5.
Well, they made it last year.
And the year before. The year before was
They-
Milwaukee. Was it not?
Were they
I
there?
might be wrong.
I don't know if they were there.
But we went there with IT once. So we've been there 3 times. I just don't know.
No,
if it's,
Milwaukee.
I don't know if it's.
It couldn't have been
3 out of the last 4,
Milwaukee.
3 out of the last 5.
It couldn't have been Milwaukee
That's second
because they weren't
Oh,
there.
no,
Yeah.
I might
we're
be
not
mixing
gonna
it
be
up.
there
Yeah.
again if we keep this roster.
I mean, we talked about it.
The East has gone way better. Philly looks like they look
E-
legit. now.
Embiid's like the MVP if the
Yeah.
season ends today. So
I mean, I like
Peak.
Yeah.
them a little bit more because they have Doc now,
yeah,
so they might have a good voice in
And
that locker
too.
room.
I feel
they
like we need a coach.
But I still think Philly's Philly.
they put a better team
Oh, wow.
around.
Philly looks good, huh?
Yeah.
They put a better team. They like built it well. They built well. I said it.
Shows what a good coach can do.
That's what I'm saying.
I
In
said
the
it.
season, though. Let's
I
see
said it
what
when
in
we
the
did our
season,
NBA
yeah.
video.
Well,
when we did our
playoffs we
first
know
NBA video.
what that is. It's a players are going to take over.
Sure.
The best players are going to take over the
Yeah.
games in the playoffs.
They put a good team. They got
that's when
Steph
when
Curry.
you're like, okay, like who can really play?
Yeah, it
Right,
takes a step
right.
forward. I don't know.
It'll be fun watching the Celtics play.
I just I think they need to use that trade exception, throw in a pick or two. I don't know if they have to be first round picks or what. Maybe a young guy, Romeo Langford, get out of here, and just give them to the Cavs. Get Andre Drummond. See, because like
Andre Drummond.
dude, because you have Tristan Thompson. What, like,
Oh.
please tell, like, what are you?
Maybe.
I feel slower just saying his name.
Okay, but what's Thompson out there? It's an upgrade to him. It's the same. It's like the same kind of player, but he's way better.
If we get him, it'll be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's at least showing me. I don't think it's going to put us over the edge, but like,
Could make things
You
interesting.
think
wake
they'll
up,
trade for
Danny.
him?
Wake
You
up.
think they'll
Wake
trade
up.
for him?
The guy is in Detroit. At the
They
end
need
of
to
the day.
trade for him.
So, I mean, we said the same thing about Blake Griffin. Maybe he has something still left in the tank. It's just that he's in Detroit.
Oh, they're sitting him though.
Say that again.
So do you think that they will
Right,
trade for
right.
him though?
Yeah.
Will they trade for
But I'm
him?
You
saying
think they'll
even
try
when he
to?
was playing.
They
What-
should
and
try
what,
to.
And what do you offer? Because he could get bought out. Then do you like your chances in the buyout
No,
market, or is he going to LA?
Every single player that you hear connected, all of us here connected to the Celtics and trade rumors, they have to trade for them because as soon as they get bought out, they're going to the Nets or Lakers.
Yep.
So it's like you have no chance. When's the last time the Celtics signed a player that got bought out? Like when the Big Three was here, I think, right? It was something like that.
We got PJ Brown.
Yeah, literally. I think that's or they convinced him out of retirement. That's bad.
Yeah, he did
That's
come out of
bad.
retirement.
Hey,
That's really bad.
Danny Ainge, if you're listening, make it happen, man. Come on.
I just
Drummond to Boston.
Need another championship here.
We do. It's been way too long. We're like,
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
gonna give you a
But
championship,
I mean, you're telling me
it might-
that he passed up on the Hayward for. I mean, that's what's out there, right? We're assuming that this is true. He passed up on Hayward for Miles Turner, and then now you're gonna go out there and get Drummond for what? Some picks and a trade exception.
right.
At this point, I miss Hayward.
This is the.
Come
He was the
I'm
glue.
still
he
happy
was the
he's
glue that
gone.
held it all together. Huh,
I'm still
guys?
happy
I
he's.
miss him too.
I'm
I mean,
still.
If this is what it's going to be, I miss him. I'd rather have him than not have him.
I'll die on this hill. I'm still happy he's gone.
But we
I'll
have
die
1
on
year
this
seasonal
hill.
trade exception. If we don't use
Oh,
this
yeah.
trade exception this year,
Yeah.
then that Hayward deal is a loss.
Right. Right.
Taking the L on that.
That's another reason to just go trade for the guy. Well, here's the thing. The other thing with trading for someone like Drummond, like not to keep harping on that name, but it's like, look what you did last year in the bubble. Your two young guys are way better even than then, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right? Tatum might be slightly better. Jalen's way better than in the bubble. Kemba, you need him to show up, obviously, and you still have Smart. Now you throw Drummond in there, let's say, at center. What else has the rest of the conference done besides the top three teams? Sixers, Nets, and Bucks. You might not beat those teams when you play them, but you might be able to go on a little run. You went to the Eastern Conference Finals in the bubble. With what? With what? Kemba was breaking down. He was barely showing up. Hayward didn't come back until what, like the third game in the Eastern Conference Finals after getting hurt in the first round. So there's the two young guys and like the rest of the pieces that we still have right now, pretty much these scrubs carrying you to the Eastern Conference Finals. No, and that's what they are. They're scrubs.
Marcus, Tatum, and Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saw it.
Like Grant Williams hitting like a corner three every like, I don't know,
Once in a
three
blue
quarters. Like, so it's like if that team
Williams.
can carry you, and the Heat haven't been good either. So that's the two teams that were in the Eastern Conference Finals are what, like the fourth to like sixth seeds right now. The Knicks are the fifth seed. It's like what? Like these are the teams you have to deal with in the first round.
Julius Randle effect.
Julius Randle, shout out Julius Randle.
Derrick Rose. That's another guy I wish they went and got. That would have been nice. No, you let them go to the Knicks. Back to the Knicks.
At least some.
So that's what I'm saying. You know,
some
like,
solid depth.
no. It has to be by trade. Danny can't be selfish. He wants to win every trade.
But
I'm saying,
I
I'm
would
telling
be
you,
at
like,
least
it's ridiculous.
somewhat happy if we had a competitive roster, and by that I mean like, okay, let's say you had done the Miles Turner deal, right? Are you still the Lakers, or are you still competing with the Clippers? Probably not. But at least now you're talking to me when you're
Right.
saying you have a guy who's a big, who's a big with a resume who can bring it home, and then on top of that, maybe you add like your Marcus Morris or like an addition like that. Now you have a roster. Like at least you have 7 guys, 8 guys. Right now you're showing me that you got 4 guys and then a bunch of people that you're just throwing at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Right. Right.
That's not how you're gonna get it done.
I think Miles Turner's still like an option because the Pacers aren't killing it either. It's really just Sabonis and Brogdon going off, and like the rest of the team's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And the Turner's just blocking shots. So if they like fall out of it, you might be able to try to get that guy and convince them still. You're probably going to have to give up more than what you were giving up in the offseason. It was just really Hayward.
You don't have Hayward anymore. What are you giving?
Right. You probably have to give up like picks and the trade exception, pretty much.
We can't give up those picks.
What
We got to store them in Europe. We can't give them up. Where are these guys going? We have 8 picks
Gotta go.
last year, 9 picks this year.
got to go draft another
We're trying to
Gershon
turn the main
Yabusele.
Red Claws into the Golden State Warriors.
Got to go draft another Ante Zizic.
Yeah, you can't get rid of that guy.
Oh man, Jared
jeez.
Sullinger.
Jared,
Oh.
Greg Steamsma,
Ugh.
R.I.P. Tommy Heinsohn.
Listen, I
Absolute
gave
legend.
Terry a lot of slack, Terry Rozier, when he was here, and he's looking like we lost that sign and trade as of
Yeah, he
right
looks good.
now.
Rozier's looking good.
Rozier looks good.
Yeah.
Hitting clutch shots. They're a solid young team. Like that's not looking too
He's
good.
looking pretty
LaMelo
scary
Ball,
out there.
rookie of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easily. He's running
Run
away
away.
with it. LaMelo's nasty.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
killing it.
he's different.
Terry's doing so good.
He's different.
Imagine being Lonzo.
He changed the team. He changed
Yeah.
he changed the
I mean,
culture.
three sons. One of them's got to pan out, right?
I think he was the one.
I'm
Third
I
time's
like
the charm.
Lonzo. I'm a
Third
Lonzo
Imagine
fan.
being Lonzo and you're looking at you.
But listen, I mean, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Damn, I look
And
like
Lonzo's good, man.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
Lonzo's
just
a
joking out
solid
here.
player.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, but after all, like
It's just the hype.
yeah,
it
going to
never
the
lived up
Lakers
to
and
it.
all that.
Right.
You know,
I
number
mean,
2 pick
and I didn't
overall.
expect it to be
But
like that.
but he's really good. Imagine all the
He's a
other
good two-way
top 3
player. I like him
picks
on
Yeah.
in the league
I
that
like
have never
it. I like
panned
his
out.
vision.
At least
another
At
option,
least he can
really.
play. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another option
kid is good.
for the Celtics.
Who?
They've been connected to Lonzo.
Really?
Yeah, that would be. I wouldn't hate
That's
that at all.
interesting.
JJ Redick too,
That's
both
an
on the
interesting
Pelicans.
Then what's happening there? Because then obviously
Yeah.
you're not keeping Kemba. Lonzo would be your starter, right? Or
No, not
would have both?
necessarily. Yeah, you
You'd
could have
be-
both. Lonzo off
You
the
could
bench.
play both.
Get Jeff T
You
out
could.
here.
Yeah,
both.
Jeff.
Teague.
Send out
Oh
Jeff
my
Teague. You can
God.
you can probably keep Pritchard. Maybe
What are you gonna
send
get for
Pritchard.
Jeff
I
Teague?
don't
A
know.
bag of basketballs?
Well, it's just for it's just for the
Oh
contract.
Jesus!
You don't think
Oh my God.
you don't think
And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now. When we got Jeff Teague, I was like, all right, that's the guy that used to ball. You know, he's on.
I was
Maybe
excited.
he's on his last legs, but he's got something to give. He's gonna come to a city that wants to win. I was expecting good. I liked it. I actually,
Especially
liked
after that
Thompson
first
and
game.
Teague. I kind of liked it. And
Forgot
then I
he was
watched
on
him
the
play, and I
team.
was like, no wonder these guys are still available.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
That's true.
What would you give
He
up
has
for
packed
Lonzo?
it in.
You throwing Teague for salary.
Get out of here.
Throwing Teague for salary.
Take it.
Well, it's a 1 year deal, so you know, like that's just a matching salary. Like you throw Teague in. What do you? You probably have to give up Pritchard in a deal for Lonzo. Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I don't know. He's
I'm
been a
just saying.
pleasant surprise.
No, get him out of here. If you're getting Lonzo back, what are you gonna do with him? Get him out of here and throw him the protected first too. Screw it. Just like go
Yeah.
get the guys. Restricted free agent.
Bring
You
the
can
ball
keep
of
him.
basketballs too.
Yeah, you might as well. They kind of need it down there. That's another good tip. Oh, Zion's gonna carry that team. What the hell are they? Like, what are they doing? Brandon Ingram and Zion and you're garbage, bro. You're trading off half your roster. And you went and got Steven Adams too. That's a pretty solid center. Like
Hey,
garbage.
I would have loved Steven Adams.
Yeah,
Big Adams fan.
that's someone else you could try to get, I guess, with the trade exception. And he's multiple years.
Is he on the market?
Probably not.
Do you think anyone can get Dame?
No,
No.
he doesn't want anyone to get him.
real one.
Yeah.
And if you're Portland, are you even? What are you giving? Like, what are you looking for? in a
Yeah.
game? You know what I mean?
I'd watch out for Beal though.
Play for the future now.
I would
Really?
Beal. That's
watch
an
out for
interesting
Bradley
one.
Beal.
Me and you talked about this.
Watch out for Bradley Beal because, you know, I know he said he doesn't want to leave. He's trying to be loyal to Washington. And he likes he's like Westbrook's like the best teammate he's ever had or something like that, taking shots at John Wall. But it's like
Yikes. That's a tough one.
you go to the All-Star game, you know how the NBA is.
Sheesh. I didn't know that.
You go to the All-Star game,
Yeah, I didn't know
you're
that either.
you're on the team with these guys, with Tatum, talking to Dame, maybe like CJ McCollum for Beal, maybe like
Yeah,
I don't,
guys
you know,
recruit.
like something
These
like
guys
that.
recruit.
Imagine Dame and Beal next to each
All
other.
the
It's
time.
ridiculous. So it's like it's guys like that you got to keep a lookout for. I don't know if the Celtics can get Bradley Beal. You probably have to give up Jalen in a deal.
Are you doing it? Jalen for Beal. What if it's a straight up deal?
Man,
Straight up, that's a tough one.
I might do that.
Tough.
Jalen gets
How old is Beal?
Beal's 28. I want to say 27,
Let me
28.
look it up. I want to know how old he is.
I want to say he's 28.
Oh, dude, one of those guys is scoring 33 points a game.
Yeah.
on his bum ass
Yeah,
team.
I know.
it's not even
33
about the
points
a game.
is still
To
33
be
points.
honest though, what's the difference between the Celtics and the Wizards right now besides like
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What's gonna change?
Yeah. I mean,
You're getting
He's
someone
27.
older who's gonna last 2 more years. And then Jalen Brown was really young and really focused.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it.
He'll be 28 at the end of the June.
I think I
don't
agree
know.
with you. I think it would be tough. I think I would definitely look at that deal. Like
I'd look at it.
I'll
I'd
take it
look at it.
seriously, but
I'd consider it.
I get it, but I also, you know,
Brown is my favorite
I would
player on
just
the team
ask.
right
I
now.
would just ask myself:
Even over
Is
Tatum.
Bradley
Brown's
Beal
my favorite player.
is Bradley Beal gonna be the answer that's gonna take me to the finals? No.
no.
Or win it? No. So
No.
if that's not the answer, then I'm not giving up Brown.
Right, because at that point, the standpoint is even, okay, if A, are you much better significantly? But B, if you're not, then how does this look to the rest of the league too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You
Right.
grew Brown
Yeah,
in-house and
like
now
we
you're
were
trading him
saying.
too. Now,
Yeah.
now I get the stigma attached to it,
Right.
right?
Well, this
If
is
you're getting rid of a guy like Brown, what aren't you getting rid of?
right. Well, this is the reason I say it, and I like
Yeah.
heard this somewhere. I
Great
forget
point.
exactly if it's on the radio or somewhere else. It might come down to like eventually you got to look at the two young guys, and if they're not getting it done, you got to go with one. And the way the NBA goes, who are your boys? Let's trade for them. You know, like that's just what it is. Ask Tatum who he wants on this team. That's your
I've
star.
heard there's some rumors that Giannis and Tatum want to be somewhere.
Well,
together
Giannis
at
just
some point.
resigned.
Yeah,
And they both
well,
just resigned. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's a players' league. All he has to do is demand.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is
Changes
demand
real
the trade.
quick.
Right.
Paul
Yeah.
George,
Changes
Thunder,
overnight.
max contract next year. He's out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Happens quick.
I wouldn't even worry about the contracts.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like you might have to go up to one of them and be like, okay, who are your boys? Who do you think you can play well with, like really well with? And it would take who do you want here to keep them happy, so they do stay here,
Yeah.
so they don't want to get traded. It might come down to something like that. Who do you go with?
It's gonna be
You go
interesting,
with what
that's for sure.
Jalen's saying. Or you go with Tatum. Who you keeping right now? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean he's the better talent.
Right.
Jaylen Brown has just seemed to get closer to a ceiling earlier, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, you know who the guy is,
Right.
right?
Right.
Brown is outperforming his offensive ability right now.
Right.
But man, I'll take that guy on my team any day.
Yeah.
He plays both sides of the ball so strong. He gets those necessary. Like he almost gives you like a combination of Tatum and Smart.
Yeah. No, for
Gives you
sure.
A little bit of, he gives you a little bit of each. On
He's an all-star.
Yeah.
He's officially an all-star. I just don't know where are like just to like end it on the Celtics, like just with all this talk with them. Where I can't imagine where we'd be without him like reaching this level this year. Well, imagine him like last year, like 18 points a game, whatever it was,
Right.
or
What's
20.
he averaging?
He was at 20. He's like mid-20s, right?
Wow.
24 to 26 and something like
Something
that.
like that.
I think he hit 20.
A couple games just because of him.
Just because of
Right.
him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So imagine where they'd be without him, taking the step forward this year. Because like I said, Tatum took a little step forward. He was kind of this player in the bubble and like last year. Jalen's way better than what we saw last year, I'd
Yeah.
say. So imagine
It's crazy. You have two
wasn't like
All-Stars
that.
and you're barely 500.
Oh yeah, I've heard that a million times for sure.
In the East too.
Yeah.
In the East.
That's
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
What are you gonna
something
do?
tells me, I don't know. Maybe Brad Stevens can't get them going.
There's that too.
You know what I mean?
At some point, they're gonna have to look at that.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Two
You have
all-stars.
two All-Stars. Come on.
You
But
got to
then who
do
are you-
something.
Let's say you think it's Brad Stevens. Who are you bringing in to change it? I mean, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to this roster. It's
Sometimes it just needs a shake-up.
That's why I think nothing's.
Just a shake-up in just the flow of how things are being run.
Just
Like,
a different look at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just gives a team a different identity sometimes.
That's why I think nothing's gonna happen because the roster isn't good. So like, there's a reason. There's a wiggle room to like not blame the coach and not get him fired.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
what is he dealing with
right now,
know?
like, yeah, you look at that roster and it's very apparent what the problem is. It's not a coaching issue, but at some point it's going to become a coaching issue when they
Right.
can't figure out the roster.
Right. And you can't do it mid-season. You can't do it during the
Right.
season because these young guys are gonna, like they've had him their whole careers. So they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, what do we do now? You got to do it over the offseason. So Brad's here to stay for the rest of the season.
And
I'd
then
say.
and then
So,
and then at what point do these guys start getting like impatient now? Like now looking at the franchise, like, are you guys gonna do something,
right.
or are you gonna be like a
Sorry, team.
yeah, sorry team? Yeah,
Yeah.
For how long?
Oh no, if I was a player on that team, even one of the scrubs on the team, I'm screaming to make a deal. Even if I'm involved in it, make a trade. Like, figure it out. Even if there's a risk of me being in that deal, I feel like we
Yeah.
got to make a move here.
Listen, they gotta do something, right? It's like they gotta do something
Yeah.
because they're at a point right now where like you can see exactly what the rest of the season is gonna look like, and then you know they're gonna be a second round exit, or if they get lucky, make it to the conference finals again and get
I'd be
bounced.
shocked. at
So
this
then
point.
what?
With the way they
Like,
look, I'd be
imagine
shocked if they
another
made it to the conference final.
another Eastern Conference Finals appearance and get bounced in 5-6 games.
They're at the
How many
point.
times are you gonna do that?
We'll end it here. They're at the point where they might finish below the Knicks in the standings.
That's crazy.
That's all you need to know. That's enough.
Make a
We
trade.
could have just summed all like this past like half hour up with
Just
that.
make a trade. Do something.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work out, try. Do something.
No. All right.
I don't want to see the same roster.
No, yeah, please. No. I've had enough of those like day after trade deadline blues. Like, I'm sick of it. All right. Speaking of another team that needs to make some moves, Patriots. We got some news. Like rumblings. Moves have actually been made. We're starting to get into the NFL offseason. I think we're like a week and a half away till the free agency officially starts. The draft's in like a month, a little over a month. So Patriots trade for Trent Brown. Back to the Patriots. He left after that great year where he was our left tackle for Tom Brady. Now Tom Brady's gone. And he went to the Raiders, got paid, had a really good first. He had a Pro Bowl first season with them. And then last year there was injuries and organizational problems like clashing with him, I guess. That's what it sounds like at least. And he had like COVID and all that. So they get him back for one of those typical Bill Belichick deals. Next year's 5th round pick for Brown and next year's 7th round pick from the Raiders. What do you think? $11 million, by the way. Sorry, he's
I
making.
love it.
Great move.
I love it too. I know you're
Guy's
not
a
too much
stud.
of the football guy.
People say they love it, so
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's a great move.
I
yeah.
don't think you can ever overinvest in your O line.
Right. Yeah.
And with it looks like Tooney's about to go for big money. I think we were talking about this earlier.
Right.
So
Even more than what Brown He's going to get more than what Brown's getting right now.
So I would assume that Brown is going to come in and play left tackle again.
See, that's where it gets interesting, right? Because you have Isaiah Wynn still.
Could step in there.
But they've both played right tackle, so that kind of helps. Then you have Onwenu.
Right.
But I like him more at guard.
He would probably play left guard, and then now you still have
Shaq Mason. Yeah, you have Shaq Mason. You have a couple of the younger guys.
Probably re-sign.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Yeah. That's their strongest. That's the strongest part of the team.
Absolutely.
They were ranked 4th in O-line. You wouldn't know,
and if you add
how
Brown
bad
to
Cam
that mix,
was.
I think they're one of the best O-lines in the league. I mean, you're top.
Yeah. I'd say like the Browns, Patriots, maybe I don't know, someone else. I can't figure it out at the top of my head. But
what are we gonna do with the rest of the roster? That's
right. So they have the cap. So they have cap space.
Yeah, right.
They
That was
still
gonna
have,
be my question.
they still have cap space. They lose up to $11 million. I don't know the exact number. They started off at a little over 66 mil. They were the third most cap space going into the offseason. They get Brown. It's up to 11 mil. So let's say they're down to mid 55 mil, a little over. You still have to re-sign David Andrews, 100%. I don't know how you replace him. I can't think of it. And J.C. Jackson I think he's a restricted free agent, and you gotta bring him back.
He's been a stud.
Yeah, he's young.
Awesome.
So I think Gilmore's gone, but I've also heard it's getting tougher to trade him because of that quad injury naturally that he suffered at the end of the season.
Right.
Of course, couldn't trade him at the trade deadline. Couldn't stay healthy for 2 more games. Has to tear his quad or whatever it was. So it's getting tougher to trade him. I don't know what they're gonna do to free up more cap space because they.
I mean, what do we have right now? It's north of 50.
Yeah, but you have a lot to fill.
I think the Pats
A
are
lot of holes
top
to
5
fill.
in the league in cap space.
That's
right
a
now.
lot of.
Oh no,
cap
they're still
space.
third. Even after the Trent Brown, they're still
so
10 million more
there
than the
you go.
next team.
Honestly, one thing about the Brown signing that I noticed too is he was like pretty hyped up about coming back.
Yeah,
Made us look good.
yeah,
Right.
which
He was very
Which
happy.
is perfect timing.
Right.
yeah. That's what
Because,
they
you know,
need.
You want guys to be like, because it's been a tough year, organizational wise. Your legend leaves. You know, the guy who built the organization leaves.
Right.
And look what happened. He goes and wins the Super Bowl, and we're over here like, shit.
Speaking of which,
Shows,
Yeah, exactly. And then it made us look pretty bad, I think, from like.
right. Speaking of which, the compensatory picks came out for this draft. So we originally had, I think it was like 6, 7, maybe 8 picks. We got 2 more because when a player signs, I think you can get it's up to a 3rd round pick depending on the caliber of player or like the deal that they sign. Basically traded Tom Brady for Tampa to get a Super Bowl. We got like the 98th pick in the draft.
Nice.
At first.
Tom Brady, baby.
Yeah, better be a Tom Brady.
So we have that 3rd round pick. We got a 4th round comp pick too. So now they have the 1st, 2nd, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths.
I mean, Tom was what, 199, so technically it's an upgrade.
Yeah, that is an
If you think about it
You're
that
right.
way.
Traded him at what you
We
got.
got
him
100.
for.
We went up 100 picks.
That's a great start.
We went up 100 picks.
That's great.
That's
20
years later.
What's the inflation?
The percentage is crazy.
Yeah, we gave him a Super Bowl. We got the 98th pick.
Oh,
Sick.
man.
Um,
You're welcome, Tampa Bay.
yeah. So we're lucky those picks are tradable. So that came out today. Players got franchise tagged. Allen Robinson, I would have loved to have him here, but Bears franchise him. Poor guy.
I was hoping for a shot at Godwin franchise.
Yeah, Godwin got franchised. There's a couple other guys.
Let's look it up. I'd actually like to know.
Marcus Williams, safety on the Saints, but they released Emmanuel Sanders. I'd love to bring him. Not the number 1 receiver option, but like
I'm forgetting
bring him
his
in.
first name.
Bring some guys, man.
yeah, 100%.
The other one, Williams.
2 of them.
Was a great D tackle. I really like.
Leonard Williams, he got
Leonard
franchised.
Wait, what are we
Yeah.
doing at quarterback?
I was hoping to make
Marcus
Somebody
May.
help me out here.
Oh,
What are we doing at quarterback?
So with what I'm seeing now after trading for Trent Brown, I would, if it was me, it's not going to happen. Just go all in and go get Deshaun Watson. If he's willing to come here,
Go get him.
yeah, that's
Do
not,
it.
You guys aren't riding another year with Cam?
Hey,
No.
I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be upset.
I'd rather them go get Jimmy G back.
No,
I would.
that guy gets hurt every 2 seconds.
I'd rather have him back though.
Who's he going to throw it to?
That's the problem. N'Keal Harry.
So that's actually their
trading block. Yeah, they've been
some
getting
teams have
calls
been calling
on him.
in apparently.
Yep.
For what?
I don't know. The guy can't line up, but some teams want him.
Try to buy low. They're trying to do to Bill what Bill does to everyone else. Trying to buy low. I would trade him and Sony in a heartbeat. Go get like a 3rd, 2nd round pick. I don't know. Figure it out.
So
Just get them out of here.
who's your ideal QB situation? Obviously, keeping it realistic going into next season.
Well, the free agents blow First of all, I don't know
Brian
if you've seen,
Hoyer.
I don't know if you've seen the free agency, like the quarterback list. Now that Dak got paid,
That's the one.
Dak got absolutely paid. Richest contract in the history of NFL.
Last year?
I mean,
Or no,
were
not
we-
not
were we
besides
expecting,
Mahomes.
120
Straight up.
something.
He's
were we
making-
expecting anything else from Jerry Jones?
Well, after what they offered him last year, the guy snapped his ankle out of his skin. Like
Deserves it, man.
He does
deserves it.
deserve
One
it.
word, Jerry
They were
Yeah.
running.
Jones.
Jerry Jones. That's
They
too.
were risking his career. Franchise
One
tag.
name,
Franchise
two
tag.
words.
Franchise tag.
Yeah,
Pay the guy.
he's making 75 mil in the first year between the signing bonuses. You get money just to sign the contract. Your base salary. His base salary is $9 million. You know what he's getting to just sign the contract? I think it's like 60-something million. Like it's
Hey,
plus incentives, like whatever. Bro.
I wish I worked for Jerry Jones. That's all I gotta say.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wish Jerry Jones.
That man likes to write tracks.
Yeah. So now Cowboys fans are rioting in the street. So that guy's off. That guy's gone. I don't think that was ever really an option, anyways. So looking at your free agency class for the quarterbacks, I don't even know how to rank this. Jameis Winston, Cam, Mitch Trubisky. It's getting worse. Who else is out there?
This year.
There's a lot of names.
Isn't that,
I'd rather them go that
kid?
route. Yeah, Trevor. I mean, he's going first overall.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
going to
but
the
who
Jets.
has number one pick?
Him?
Who has number
No.
one pick?
He's locked in. Trevor Lawrence.
But who?
Oh, who has it? Jags.
The Jags.
Yeah,
Huh?
and they have the
Fuck.
most cap space too. They have the most cap space. Then it's the Jets, and then it's the Pats.
Hate to
I don't know.
see
Maybe
it.
he can save their franchise. You never know.
Save their franchise.
I mean, the way he's
save
getting,
himself.
the way he's getting.
Catch
Well, they-
a case. Catch a case or something.
Okay, I got your UFA list right
Drop
here.
in the sun.
Unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
Dak's gone. Alex Smith,
Oh,
Jacoby Brissett,
Jacoby,
Mitchell
Who's that?
Mitchell Trubisky. I was about to say Mitchell.
Alex Smith.
Michelle.
Mitchell Trubisky, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean,
Redskins.
it's a scary list when I'm thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick might be an option.
I wouldn't hate that, as long as they
With
can
this
put
list?
a roster.
Okay, let's
around
keep
it.
going.
hate that?
Tyrod
I'm
Taylor.
doing here? What are
I'd
we
rather
competing for?
have him than Cam.
Tyrod Taylor.
100%.
AJ McCarron. He didn't get signed? AJ McCarron? He's still unrestricted.
I don't even. All
Anyways,
right,
Tom
we're going. Now we're going way
Brady.
too far down the list.
Andy Dalton.
Rough couple years here.
Do you want the Red Rocket? Andy Dalton.
Absolutely not. I'd rather, if we're going in order on that list, I'd rather, if you're going the free agent route, Alex Smith,
Man,
Ryan
it's bad.
Fitzpatrick,
It's
and then
bad.
Cam. That's me, dude. Cam,
Go
dude,
get Watson.
they
please.
just I'd love it. Bro, they just traded for Trent Brown. You know how big that guy is? 6'8", like 3-something. Cam is gonna whip it into the back of this guy's head the way he throws the football now. He can't throw.
go get.
Not even his
Sean
head. He's gonna hit his
Watson.
numbers. He
The
can't.
thing-
That's how he can't throw it.
The thing is, what are they going to do outside of Cam? I think he's coming back.
I'd rather have Fitzpatrick. I'd rather have Alex Smith. That's all. If you can put a team around those guys, I'd rather have those guys.
I'd
That's
almost
just me.
rather see the dumpster fire with Cam again.
Oh man, you guys are
Because
killing
it's just
me.
like,
You never know.
man, it's brutal. You're going to bring in Alex Smith. Because at least then you get to say, oh, it's still Cam Newton. If you bring in Alex Smith and it looks like that again, now it's like, oh, this is a Bill problem. This is that. And it's like, no, you just kind of left him with no options.
There.
hard.
Hard.
So well, here's the thing. You stick with Cam. That's your. Let's say you go that route. You stick with Cam. Now everyone's like, all right, did you even try? What do we do? Did you even try to replace him? Did you try to find someone else? We're really back to this guy? That's going to be the
I
reaction.
mean, you were already out of the playoffs and you still didn't play Stid the kid. Like, Stidham's not.
Oh, he
going
shouldn't
in.
be on the team anymore. I don't want either. I don't want any of
So what else? What's left?
all three of the quarterbacks that you saw on the field or on the
kid.
bench for the Patriots. I want them gone. Stidham gone. Ryan
Yeah,
Hoyer
clean house.
retire. Cam go
What
somewhere
do you,
else. I'm
unless
sorry.
unless you're trading for Jimmy G, I don't see what else is out there.
Right.
Headline.
I don't think you're getting Watson.
Dude, if you bring back Cam, you're going from last year, everyone like hyped and rejoiced. Oh my God, we got Cam Newton to like, really do this guy's back here again? Imagine. It's like, come
Hate to
on.
see it.
I'd rather them draft someone.
I want him to do well,
Yeah,
man.
me too. Give him another.
Oh no, I love Cam, but it's like, I don't know.
You want to give Cam another?
He can't
shot?
really
You watch him
run
throw?
anymore besides on the goal line.
It's bad.
It's
It's
bad.
really bad.
He can't run anymore besides on the goal line. He can't throw the football. No, you're right,
The guy
but it's
can't-
like
it was.
it was.
I mean,
It wasn't
And
just the
we
team
We
though.
lost a couple close games that could
I
have went
know,
either way.
we
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Our record could have been a lot different.
You can say that with
the
a lot.
first
of
two
things,
games,
though.
it looked good in the beginning. The Seattle game that we
Yeah,
lost,
and they
agree
got
with
He
you.
COVID.
got
I was-
COVID, and that ruined everything.
I'm telling you, man. Give
that's
him
what it was?
shot.
I think it was
I
the
think
COVID.
so. You know why?
I think it was part of it.
You know why? Because we had momentum,
Yeah.
and it just shot their momentum.
They could have. I think they could have beaten the Chiefs if Cam was still here. That's how bad the Chiefs were
football
playing.
is all momentum. Like, it's crazy. Like, when your whole team is clicking like that, it's not like basketball where, one guy can save you. Like,
I agree with that.
whole team's clicking, and you guys are winning, and then your quarterback goes down, and now you're like, all right,
Fuck, and you're not playing.
yeah,
right.
and then your backup's coming into the system. Like, you haven't had proper reps. Like, it's all this stuff. Like, playbook's hard. Like, and then all of a sudden you plug him back in, and it's
Right.
been 2-3 weeks.
We've been losing.
Part of
Exactly.
it, so the thing that makes it scary,
Momentum
part
gone.
of it being, I agree with the momentum theory, absolutely. But part of it being is like, was Cam just fresh at the beginning of the year? He hadn't played for a while. He wasn't hurt. And progressively, like you saw, it just looked worse week in and week out. Because is he just on his last legs? And like, sure, maybe we get a whole offseason. He gets his rest. He does his therapy. He does this and he does that. And he looks good again for the first weeks. But then can he sustain it for 16
This
weeks?
was also his first season that he played out.
Yeah.
So he
Right.
wasn't used to it. So I'm
That's
telling you,
fair.
Give the kid another shot.
No, I would give him another chance because if you're not getting Deshaun Watson, what else am I choosing over
Oh
Cam?
yeah, if I'm going the Alex Smith, if I'm just plugging in
No.
someone, Fitzpatrick,
Because you bet
whatever,
on upside.
I would
with Cam.
I'd rather draft like you said, give Cam another shot, do another year, have the kids sit under him,
Yeah.
and go from there.
This is the ranking. Get Watson. I'd say get Garoppolo, draft someone, or pick from those free agents. That from 1 to 4.
But if you draft someone, I mean, you're talking about a second rounder. It looks like is what it's going to be.
I hope they use. I'd rather them use
Or
a
a
15
third.
pick or trade up.
Right, and you're throwing him right in. You're starting him with the play. You know the Pats playbook. the way
Maybe
it
not,
is, and
but is Cam going to want to come back?
are we a
And
team that does that?
no, probably not. No.
So
I don't.
you gotta-
I
you
don't
gotta
know
have
about the
someone-
quarterback position. Not any other position, but
Right.
what are you going to do? You might not have the option. You might not have the luxury to not do that.
Edelman was a QB in college, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Edelman might not even play
There
this
are
year.
options there.
Well,
Are you a lefty or righty? He's a righty, right?
I think so.
He's got an arm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather them go get Garoppolo. How about this?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Would you rather,
It's honestly
depending on what the
ridiculous what it's
Jets
come to.
do, would you trade for Sam Darnold and try to like that since he's young and like try to maybe figure that out?
Yeah,
put him on a
you know,
put him in a
it'd be-
good
I think
organization.
I think he'd be a great third string.
You want to give him a chance? You want to give him a
I'll
chance?
give him a chance in practice.
Poor guy.
Go show me what you got, kid.
Oh man.
Yeah, he looked pretty bad, man.
Play over there.
Not gonna lie.
Ah,
But there's so much opportunity this year because I think there's so many good free agents out there, not in the QB position.
yeah.
And you have all this cap space. You could really turn around this offseason. But it all starts with quarterback.
Right.
I mean, it all starts there.
Right. You'll.
So like, let's say
So-
perfect scenario, right? You have the 50 million cap space. You bring back Cam, and you put a decent roster around him. You get a couple of wide receivers. Maybe you got a D tackle. So you bolster your roster. You have those 8 guys coming back, right? Hightower's coming back. I think Chung is coming back. So on and so forth. So now your roster looks pretty good, right? You're strong on both ends. You have some depth. You bring Cam back. What's our ceiling? What are you looking at? What are your expectations?
5th seed. Division, but 4th seed. Division winner.
9-7, 10-6.
Yeah. What's the upgrade there? You won
Right.
2 or 3 more games. You make the playoffs. You get bounced.
My expectation is just a team that wins games. Like,
Get to the playoffs.
just get to the playoffs and then let it be decided there. Who's gonna win games?
I'd
Yeah.
rather
See what we need.
Because it's not gonna be like we're not gonna become a powerhouse over a season.
right.
Right? We're not gonna become like a favorite. We're not gonna become like a Kansas City.
Right.
Like, you
Unless
know,
you go get one of those guys.
yeah.
Top guys.
Even then, I feel like it would take a year. You know,
Maybe.
just get it, put it together a team that can win some games against good teams, and see what happens, and build from there. But at least get to the playoffs and beat some teams like during the regular season.
I think it matters to me personally
Create an identity.
how they get there.
We
What
don't
I
have-
mean by that is I'd rather miss the playoffs and see that they have a plan, whether it's drafting a QB, whether it's getting some young guys, doing some trades. I want to see that there's like, whether it's a 2, 3, 5
Yeah, I
year
wouldn't be mad
plan
at that either.
Versus if you just get a bunch of old guys who are on their last legs, you throw them some money, you look like a good roster fit, because then you're just right back to it next year.
Yeah.
So whether it's drafting, whether it's bringing in a QB, doing the combination thing, I want to see, if you just bring Cam back in, do the thing that I just said, you go to 10-6, whatever, what are you next year? So I'd rather miss the playoffs and have a plan and it look good going forward than try and just making it stick again.
Right.
Because right now, there's no plan.
It's just
What
like,
is your plan?
Yeah. I mean,
I think there's no other option than to go sign Cam and get a young guy and have him sit.
that is an option.
I think that's the only option.
That's what you can do with any of those guys.
Yeah.
Cam, to me,
Right.
Fitzpatrick, Cam, Alex Smith, that's a placeholder
Yeah.
in front of a guy that you can potentially draft. But I don't want it to be second, third, fourth, whatever. Stidham was a 4th-round pick. Garbage. Jimmy G was solid 2nd-round pick, but, like, look, he's not here anymore. So
So
Ryan
do you
Mallett
think-
was like
do
a
you think-
2nd, 3rd-round pick. What's going on? Like,
Vin, do you think that they would draft a quarterback?
I'd hope so. I don't know if you
And-
would.
have to.
And if they do, like, what are the options there?
If all the guys aren't gone, I think Bill would take a guy. But the problem is there's a lot of teams that could either trade up or are already there that can also take these quarterbacks.
How's the QB class?
It's solid. You could have 5 guys taken in the first round, I'd say.
I
at
wouldn't
least.
even mind if they drafted 2 QBs this year.
Yeah, that's
Let
an
them duel
option
it
too.
out.
That's an option.
I mean, because you don't have anything in the NFL if you
Right.
don't have a QB.
The rankings are, it's Trevor Lawrence is like unanimous right now to the
Right.
Jags first. You got to see what the Jets are going to do. They're going to stick with Sam Darnold. They're going to reset. And if they reset, it's probably Zach Wilson. He's from BYU. He's like gotten like Mahomes comparisons. Like,
Wow.
I don't know. That's, that's hefty, but like he's like built like him. It's like really weird. So they're off the board, let's say. Then you have like Justin Fields from Ohio State. I don't think he makes it to you.
Who's the Tom Brady comp this year? I want that guy.
I don't know if anyone is. Trevor Lawrence.
Literally.
No, he's getting some ridiculous comps. Trevor Lawrence. He's supposed to be like the best quarterback since like Andrew Luck out of the draft, which I guess. But like, what did Andrew Luck really do at the end of the day?
I'd take him at this point.
Oh yeah, if Andrew Luck wants to come out of retirement,
I'd
come
take Andrew
on,
Luck at this point,
come on
yeah.
down, Andrew Luck, please. What else? There's Trey Lance. He's from North Dakota. Best quarterback drafted out of there is Carson Wentz, so that's not exactly a good sample size. Who else is there? I'm going blank a little bit. Trey Lance. There's Mac Jones from Alabama. He might be a reach where we're picking, but if it's a quarterback-driven league, he might just go. You never know. These guys could reach for
What's
him.
going on now that you mentioned him, Carson Wentz? What's going on with him? Is he out?
He's on the Colts now. He got traded.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's because Rivers retired, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
He got sent to the Colts. So Jalen Hurts, that's
Honestly.
that's a good thing for
Way it's
the
been.
Patriots.
Brissett.
Brissett. He could come back.
He's a unrestricted free.
He
I
could-
wouldn't hate
He
it.
could come back.
Already
Hey,
knows the
bring him
system.
back.
You need
Yeah.
a bridge guy right now.
He can throw.
Draft with a bridge guy.
So
Yeah, I mean, he got an arm. I don't know.
Might be better than Cam's at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean, better arm than Cam, that's for sure.
yeah, I'd say
But
so.
I'm still taking.
Is there a
He can
worse
run
arm than
better than
Cam
he can
out of
run better
starting
than Cam too.
32
100%.
teams right now?
think so? Would you take Brissett over Cam?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I don't have to think about
I
it.
think he can do what Cam does, but better.
Absolutely.
He can run. Cam can run on the goal line. He can't run down the field anymore. Brissett can still run down the field. So if you want that aspect in your offense, like the player to be able to do those things, Cam's not your guy. He can't run down the field
But
anymore.
what are you getting Brissett for? Are you paying him?
No.
You're not getting me a law firm.
No, you don't have to.
No.
He's not even. He's like maybe the 5th best quarterback, I'd say, on the
What does
market
that,
right
what
now.
kind of money does that get you?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
maybe
For
maybe like 8 million max for like 1 year.
Yeah.
Not
he'd be-
fully
he'd be 6 to
guaranteed.
8 range.
Yeah,
Probably with incentives.
bro. Some of these backups are getting ridiculous money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
It's the market right now.
so because Wentz got traded, the Eagles have Hurts now, and they're rolling with him. Like the owner like wants, so that helps the Patriots because the Eagles were like borderline maybe taking a quarterback and just starting over again.
Yeah.
So they're not doing that. So Jags are taking a quarterback. Jets might. Who's the 3rd pick? Dolphins. Do they take a quarterback? Get rid of Tua? I doubt it.
No.
No.
They're vested in him.
4th pick is the Falcons. Do they take a quarterback and start
Ryan on the market?
to groom him?
I don't
Like,
think so.
It would cost them a lot to get rid of Matt Ryan right now. You either continue to try to win with Matt Ryan or you bring in that next guy and like try to figure it out. I don't think that's like official yet. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was like
word.
practicing recently. Like they're not.
Been no word out of the Breeze camp.
Yeah.
on that yet.
5th pick is the Bengals. So they're not taking a quarterback. Joe Burrow.
Wilson leaving?
I don't think he's in that.
He doesn't want to leave, but he has a list of teams he would like to go to if he leaves.
Yeah.
Which is really, I found
Are
that
we on
very
the list?
interesting. He's on it.
No, we're not.
No,
You know who was on the list?
It was an
Bears,
interesting list.
Bears, Raiders, Cowboys. There was one more. Jets.
So
I
Cowboys
think.
are already out of it.
Yeah. Jets. There's
Jets
one.
are on the list?
Yeah.
Is it the Bills? I thought it was the Bills.
No, it was the Jets.
Okay. I swear I thought it was the Bills.
Why'd you go to Buffalo?
Buffalo
I mean,
wouldn't-
the team's stacked.
I mean, they don't
Yeah,
need. They don't need a
it's
quarterback
stacked.
right
It's a
now.
nice
Josh
roster.
Allen?
Outside of, I mean, Josh Allen's okay, but
Josh Allen's top 10 right now.
Buffalo's
Yeah.
the one place
Yeah.
I would not
but like
Never been
he's
there.
top 10
but
based
that-
on
that doesn't seem like
how things
somewhere I
played
want to
out. But
live.
is he top 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Conference five or whatever AFC
Where,
championship.
with what they accomplished, but was that more of a roster thing or was that a Josh Allen thing? I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just
He
picking your
was
brain.
he was an MVP candidate for a little bit there. Like he was talked about.
Yeah.
I'd say he was top 5 in the discussion. Josh Allen. He was going off.
100% he was.
You had him on your fantasy team. You love him.
That
You
was
know
my
he
guy.
knows. George knows.
That was my guy. Dropping 30 a game for me.
Yeah.
30 a week.
Yeah, he's crazy. He went off, but I don't know. Russell Wilson doesn't want to come here. Deshaun Watson apparently doesn't want to come here. Would you want to come here? That's another thing I want to talk about. The way things have gone, you've with this organization, you've thrown out guys, coaches I'm talking about, to other teams in the league. The Patriots tree. You know, I'm sure you've heard it before, like Patriots South with like the Titans or the Texans, Bill O'Brien and all that. Deshaun Watson's had to deal with former Patriots guys his whole career, and he wants to leave because of that. You think he's going to want to come to the source of where those guys came from? Probably not. That's the problem.
I don't know if I'd basket those two.
I think some of these guys. Well, here's this is where I get it from. Stafford got traded to the Rams, and you know the one place where he didn't want to come
New England.
here.
And why?
You know
Because
why?
Patricia and
They brought Patricia back.
and
Yeah.
even the
His
GM,
garbage
right?
coach. You know who doesn't want to come? You know who enforces that even more? Kenny Galladay didn't get franchised. Their star receiver. He doesn't want to come here, he said. That's we're on the list of not wanting to come here. You know why? Because his garbage coach from Detroit is back here. So we're prioritizing garbage coaches because they have a history here. And he's not even substantial either. He's like an advisor on the offense. He was like the defensive coordinator when he was here. Now he's on the offense. And it's costing you guys wanting to come here. What are we doing? You know?
It doesn't look good, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, like these guys have to deal with these messed up coaches. Like they don't know what they're doing. GMs, whatever you want to call them. They can't figure it out. Why would they want to come to the source? You know, I'm sure they've heard stories on top of it. It's like, this is the problem.
If I was an athlete, I wouldn't want to come here.
No, not only because
The coaches.
it's the weather. It's the weather's number one. Everyone wants to go to a sick, like, you know, Miami and whatever. Like we said with the NBA, like it's all the same. But
Would you rather
Yeah.
play for the Dolphins or the Patriots right now?
Dolphins.
I'd rather play for the Bills right now than the Patriots.
Listen.
Oh, yeah, the
I'll
Bills for
cash
sure.
my checks.
Minimum.
I'll cash my checks and I'll be drinking pina coladas, chilling in Miami.
Fresh jerseys.
Catch me at
The happiest 0-16 guy out there.
Reggie Bush in Miami.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know. Going back to the draft, Bengals aren't taking a quarterback, like I said. Eagles aren't taking a quarterback. I don't know if the Lions will. They have Jared Goff now, but gross. So I don't know. I don't know. These teams leading up, there's teams that are going to trade up. There's teams that are going to trade back. They're in a really tricky situation.
Seems like a no-win situation.
Yeah. Can you get better? Can you get better than last year?
Another position I wanted to touch base on. Are we going to go another year without a tight end? Or are we going to actually do that thing?
Go get
Are
Hunter
we gonna do the
Henry,
tight end thing this year?
please. Please go get Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry. I'd
Yeah,
love
dude,
Hunter
just-
Henry on this team. Go get Hunter Henry. Or
It's like
Jones.
if you just don't play a man down
he is.
to make
He
it
didn't get
fair or something.
franchised.
But hey, but look at the
amazing.
situation now, right? If you're Hunter Henry, how much money is it gonna take for you to?
Oh,
come
it's going
and
to take a
join
lot.
these
He's the number one
bums?
tight end.
And I'd give it.
Like, come on,
I'd give
you're gonna
him
have to
that
pay
money.
him.
Yeah.
But
And,
then
and
what?
I'd be willing to splurge.
Then
on
who's
it.
throwing it to
Throwing
him?
the ball. Put me out there, G. You know I can throw.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
I've seen him throw like 60 yards.
regardless of who's throwing the ball, you
That
have the money.
baseball
You got to
arm.
get someone. So I'd be willing to splurge on a tight end right now because I mean, if you're talking, so the top of the tight end market, I don't know, guys like what, Travis Kelce, Kittle, Gronk's not up there anymore, but those guys
Waller.
still make what, maybe 60% of what a top wide receiver makes.
Yeah. Well, the tight ends that are available, I know the top three.
So I'd be willing to splurge there for sure.
It's Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Evan Ingram.
Right.
Do you bring in one of those guys? I don't know.
I
guess.
would bring in one. I would draft another. Tight end is such a valuable position.
But here's
I
the
believe.
problem. Now you drafted 2 tight ends that you didn't
don't even
use.
know
What was
who
it, the
these guys
third
are.
round? You drafted Asiasi, 3rd, 4th round, Asiasi and Dalton Keene. Like, they didn't play.
Right.
Now they're buried on the depth chart. What are you doing?
You
know?
got 50 million. Go out there, spend some money, get a nice tight end.
Yeah, I guess. And I've heard
I
with
just don't see
Edelman
a
out.
reason not to.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I've heard with Edelman out too. Maybe they take one of the receivers that might be around there at 15. But like, they're not going to do. Bill's not going to do that. You know why? Because I know how he thinks. I know how Bill Belichick thinks, and this is
You
what
look at the camera as he said that.
this is what it is.
I know how Bill
This is what
Belichick
it is.
thinks.
All
Please
these years, he's drafting
are
garbage
you listening?
receiver after garbage receiver in the mid rounds. Aaron Dobson. Who else? Who am I thinking of? Josh Boyce. Like, who are these guys? They're not in the
Aaron
league
Dobson.
anymore. Garbage after garbage after garbage. This guy's getting berated every year. Tom Brady has no weapons. Where are the receivers? You have Edelman getting destroyed out there. Like, you have to sign guys from wherever. You're spending all the money on these guys. What does he do? He goes and drafts N'Keal Harry, who sucks. So, but in Bill Belichick's mind, this is where it is. Bill Belichick's mind, he's like, oh, Bill, why don't you draft another receiver? Like, that's a really weak position. We might need another, like, good young receiver. He goes, all these years I didn't do it for a reason. Look at the guy I drafted. It didn't work out. That's his fault. But he's going to put it on everyone else. 100%. He's not going to put it on himself. It's not going to be Bill's fault for drafting, the second receiver in the draft over A.J. Brown, who's probably top 5 in the league next year. DK Metcalf, monster. Debo Samuel. Like, you're drafting N'Keal Harry because he's athletic. The guy that came out in the last year's draft, Brandon Ayuk, on the 49ers, former team, their teammates in college, is better than N'Keal Harry. What happened?
I mean, what good is athleticism if you can't line up?
I know.
I feel like every time I was watching a game, the QB's looking at him and he's just like, hey,
Right.
move over. You're in the wrong spot.
Right.
And he looks so confused.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can't. I don't know if he couldn't pick up the playbook, what it is, but he looked like Ocho Cinco out there.
Yeah.
Chad Ocho Cinco looked just like he literally
When he was
would
here,
just
yeah.
stare at the QB and be like, "Where am I supposed to be? You tell me."
Right. So it's his fault for the receiver that we have, but he's gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna use that to not. He's like, it didn't work out last time. Why would I do it again? Like that's classic.
Classic Bill.
Classic Bill. Even though it's his fault. So don't think of like Rashad Bateman or whatever, any of those Waddle guys, whatever his name is. I can't think of these names off the top of my head at this point. Devontae Smith and those guys are going to be gone. Jamar Chase, nasty. But I'd love Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow. Their teammates at LSU is his receiver at LSU. Dude, they set records. That'd be sick.
Get somebody, please.
Yeah, Patriots need to get. Sorry, I'm going off on like fantasy football like mindset right now. Like,
Do that on your own time.
yeah, no, we're not there yet. But yeah, no, they need to do something. I personally, number one guy for me, realistic, and not, someone that's not complete garbage in my mind is Jimmy G. Again, I'm going back to that. You got to trade for him. I think he's attainable. Like you can get that guy. That's just me. I'd rather have him than Cam. I'm sorry.
What did we get for him?
Second round.
Second round pick.
Fucking go make that trade again.
Yeah, why not?
Give a second round pick back. Yeah.
I mean, my only concern with him is his durability. The guy hasn't been able to stay on the field, but
Right.
he looked great here.
That was Cam's issue though.
I mean, it was
before
only,
he got
what was
here.
it? What did he play? 4 or 5 quarters, but he looked
Yeah.
great in that time.
Yeah.
What round did we take N'Keal
Something
Harry?
like 3.
He was the last pick in the first round. 32nd overall.
He looked amazing.
Go take that second round pick and trade it. We can't draft anyway.
But do you think 49ers are doing it?
Trade it.
They
give
might
him up?
if they want to.
I
Then
mean, he does have a pretty big contract.
yeah.
So another thing, you think Pats are taking on that contract? We don't believe in.
No, they'd
paying
they'd
quarterback.
restructure it. They'd restructure just like Trent Brown did.
Yeah.
They'd restructure 100%.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Strategy.
Tom Brady's about to get extended in Tampa.
I know. I still can't believe they weren't willing to just give this guy money. Blows my mind.
I don't know.
I think it was more than money.
I think the biggest.
He was looking around like
there were issues for sure.
like these guys don't spend shit. Like what
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? It's like I'm over here like trying to win more Super Bowls, and they're over here like trying to have me do everything and get them to another Super Bowl.
And we're 30, 40 million under the cap
It's like
with Tom Brady.
he's
on
looking
the
around like,
roster.
are you serious?
At
Spend
41
some
years
fucking
old.
money.
Right.
What are we talking?
No.
No.
No, especially near the
Well,
end.
it
They're
was,
like, yo, if you're gonna win a Super Bowl, you're gonna really you're gonna do it yourself. Like you're gonna take these bums to the fucking Super Bowl. And he was like, nah, I've been doing this my whole career. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
It
go.
doesn't
play
even
with
make
weapons.
sense. You're making back double that money in ticket sales, merchandise, so on and so forth. It never made sense to me. And it's hard for me to believe that Kraft wouldn't have gone to Bill and been like, hey, Tom's in his last whatever years. I'm willing to spend some money. Let's write some checks to go out there and find me some players. So I something happened. We'll obviously never know. Unless they write a book in like 20 years, we're never going to know.
Well,
what
there
happened.
was
But something went down.
There was multiple things that happened.
Yeah.
This, and I'll end it on this because we've been going. Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I even paid attention to football this year, honestly, was because fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really watch Patriots games, to be honest. Like they weren't enjoyable.
It's the least amount of. I watched maybe 5 out of. Well,
It was
five,
it was
I think
it was
top 5 out of
it was
16
torture
games.
to watch.
I've missed maybe 2 Pats games in the
I
last
didn't
2
even
years.
I didn't even know who was playing. I didn't even know the guys I was looking at. I was like, who are these people?
All we had was that Chargers game. That was it. Where they blew out the Chargers.
We didn't have a
We
tight end.
always do that though.
Yeah.
I think we went into a few games without a tight end on the roster, didn't we?
Probably, yeah.
Right,
Just
'cause
like last year
we had,
or the year before.
What was his name? Jacob Hollister, right? And he got hurt.
No, it was
Or who was it?
Izzo.
What's his name?
Izzo.
Izzo. Sorry, I got them mixed up.
Ryan Izzo.
And he got hurt, and we went into a couple games with literally no tight end on the
Yeah.
roster.
No, I know. And Edelman was
It
already
was a
out.
mess.
Jacoby
Massive.
Myers was the best
They literally didn't
playmaker
care.
on the team.
And they made it clear that they made it evident that they didn't care this year.
Yeah. So, well, I'll end it on this. Like I said, the problem with Brady when he was here was like a combination of, and I've said it before, like him and Bill, their relationship falling apart. But on top of it, it's Bill not drafting well.
Right.
There's only so many times.
Right.
There's only
Drafting's been awful.
there's only just like N'Keal Harry, because if you end up cutting or trading that guy,
Go
it
down
actually
the list. Go down the list. The
yeah,
last
it
decade.
goes against your cap. That's why some of these guys, these busts, like the early ones, stay on the team for so long,
Right.
and it gets frustrating. That's why Sony Michel's still around.
The only
He was-
2 hits I can even think of is what Hightower, Chandler Jones.
Yeah, and we're talking
That's
10,
it.
to almost
That's
10
all.
years ago.
You're talking almost.
I wonder what it is. I wonder what's not working. What they're looking for in guys that are just not panning out.
Because
now, yeah,
the scouting is just
because now it's a trend. It's
Right.
like how many guys we're gonna miss on. Like
Right.
there's clearly it's not like where we're drafting because there's a lot of talent in the NFL coming from late rounds.
Yeah.
So why aren't we getting any of these guys?
Oh,
What's the
Owenu.
problem? What are we looking at?
Yeah. Owenu worked out. Winovich is solid, but like, but if those are going to be, if your best picks are going to be in the 4th and 5th round, just trade back every time or trade those picks for other players. What's the point of using? If you're best at drafting late, don't draft early.
Yeah.
Forget about it because it hurts your team
Straight
more.
up.
Like these guys can't play. And then you get rid of them, and then it costs you money. That's how the NFL works. It's not like the other sports. You can't just get rid of these guys, and it's like, all right, see you later. Like, we're back to square one. No. You're before square one because if you get rid of those guys too early, you lose a ton of money, especially first-round picks because they're making a lot of money. Their cap hit is huge. And if you cut them, it goes negative on you. So Dominic Easley, Cyrus Jones, like guys like that, when you cut them like they did, or trade them even sometimes, it hurts you. That catches up eventually. So Bill wasn't able to draft the necessary players for Brady. He wasn't able to sign anyone because they had no cap space. They could have barely even kept Brady, I'm pretty sure. If they wanted to keep him and he wanted to stay here, they would have made no other moves because that would have been it. They had no cap.
Right.
And you have no cap because the young players are gone and they're taking away from your cap because you got rid of them. And then you have to sign vets on top of it to take away from your cap because they're demanding more money than rookies would be. But you have to sign these vets because your rookies aren't living up to the it's a vicious
drafting is
cycle.
so
It's a
important.
vicious cycle. That's why teams like the Saints are like that. Look at the draft. Kamara, the offensive rim check, the tackle, these defensive backs they've drafted. Yeah. Sure, they don't win, but they're right there every year. Imagine they had a quarterback that could still throw on like Drew Brees. That's all it takes. Michael Thomas. Like, look at all these guys they drafted. All their guys are homegrown, pretty much.
Yeah, there's something going on that that needs to be.
It was the Tom Brady effect. He was here, so he was able to cover up your mistakes.
100%.
Now you can't do that, and now it's showing, and that's why last year looked like last year.
And then you put Brady on a team with actual talent.
Yeah,
When he wins
How's
a
that go?
Super Bowl,
yeah.
blows out the best team in football. Yeah,
He called his shot. Brady
What?
called his shot.
yeah,
He called his
the
shot.
best team.
It's almost incredible to think that after how much success he had here, if we had just spent some more money in between years, what could have happened.
It's not even that. It might have came down to 2 draft picks. I've said it before. That year that they drafted Sony and Isaiah Wynn.
There's so many years that Brady had.
But
nothing
listen, if you
around him
miss
over
on
two.
that, go get some guys.
No, I know.
Like, who wouldn't want to play with Brady?
I know.
Bro, all it might have taken to keep Brady was not draft Isaiah Wynn and not draft Sony Michel and draft Calvin Ridley and Nick Chubb instead. And then just keep Trent Brown on the O-line instead of trying to replace him with Isaiah Wynn.
Imagine.
You know how nasty that offense would be? You drafted the backup running back first before the starting running back at Georgia.
Calvin Ridley's
Nick
putting up
Chubb's-
top 5 receiver numbers.
And Nick Chubb's putting up top 5 running back numbers on the Browns.
It had both those guys. It's crazy.
We passed up on both. We passed up on Lamar Jackson. I know he doesn't help with Brady here, but at least you have Lamar
if
Jackson.
you were going to let him go anyway, at least take a quarterback.
I don't know. They passed up on all those guys twice, not once, twice. And they traded Brandon Cooks to get one of those picks.
It's all good. I don't know if we're winning anything anytime soon. But,
No,
we'll
I don't
take
think
the-
so, but-
take the 6 rings.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be.
Oh no,
We can wait a little bit.
I'm more worried about the other teams than the Patriots, like long term, just because the Patriots are the Patriots. We we expect more out of them, but like we're comfortable with what they've done. The other teams, I can't really say as much. But thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you for
We've
having
been
us,
going
man.
for a while here, but I hope to have you on again soon. I know it's been a while for
sure.
Well, even longer for you, I'm pretty sure. And I'm
First
sure you.
time,
I'm sure
first
you'll
time.
be back. I'm sure you'll be back. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Circle it in.
Welcome
That's
back
good.
anytime.
Love to be back. Thank you for having me, man.
Of
It's been
course.
awesome.
All right. See you guys next time.
Call me Big Papa, I'm sunny. Asked about the dick when she wanted. I'm a bad boy.